doesn't become easier just by the fact that now, you know, suddenly they have Glaive on the lineup, and obviously Desk has been talking about that. Now we're live in the game, and it is going to be Astralis starting on the terrorist side, already moving up by the restrooms and trying to see if they can find a way in. Cajun holding close. He's got Rubino out here as well. They're falling back, or at least trying to. And they're not going to get caught, it seems. That was a bit risky for a moment. The bomb, though, is making its way into the birthday party area. So still kind of a slow start here coming out of the Astralis lineup.
This is bizarre, right? Like, Rubino has the chance to pick off 2 players. He doesn't manage to get it. He gets the info, and then that seems like it's enough for Team Dignitas. They're like, right, okay, so we know we've lost control of Connector. There was a presence there. Should we actually set up for B? And that's exactly what Dignitas do. They see that movement towards the B side of the map, and so 3 players are now set up on that B site. MSL, Config, and Tensky ready to lock it down for Astralis. So, or rather, for Dignitas. So if Astralis make their way over there now, it could get hairy.
Yes, they've got a very good setup, and this is where it really matters that you've done your homework. Maybe Astralis tend to do this a lot. Maybe this is something that Dignitas have already spotted and seen. MSL has been doing a lot of work, I think. So we'll see if it's going to pay off or not. They could still get hit pretty badly. There are 2 smokes coming in, so we'll see if the 3 members of Dignitas in sight here are actually going to have any opening to get some of those shots in. And Tensky, you could see, he's in a good position so far. No smokes are covering him. He should be able to maybe pick up a kill or 2 here. MSL, though, is isolated in the corner, and so is Config. They're both going to go down, and the 3rd kill coming through. Dupree, all 3 headshots, and now Cajun finally replying against his former teammates. He takes 2, Rubino takes 1 more, and it's a 2-on-2 with a bomb down. What an incredible pistol round already here. Device and Glaive going to have to try and see if they can hold on and prevent the defuse. There is no kit right now. I don't think there's one on the ground either. Dignitas, they're going to have to do this by the pistols, essentially. And Cajun already spotting out 1.
This is nuts. The aggression coming in for Dupree. There's the pick from Rubino, though. He hears Glaive coming, but they have no idea the Device is about to spring the trap from CT, and he gets both headshots. Nothing but headshots for Astralis in the end. A beautiful knife there for Device, but more importantly, the pistol round picked up for Astralis. It actually works, even though Cajun B did his damnedest there to bring it back for Dignitas.
That was intense, because it looked like Astralis had opened up that bomb site. The whole setup of having 3 men stacked at B, that was supposed to be sort of the counter, and Dupree completely flushed that. No problem at all taking out all 3 members, and then somehow they still fought it back in. So it looked like that could have gone pretty much either way. But Device sneaking up back, that was the ace up the sleeve. That was the one thing that Dignitas were not prepared for.
They had no idea. And I'm pretty sure after Rubino gets that kill on short, they're thinking, right, we got this in the bag. We're going to get that strong start. Now it's Astralis who get to go straight to the rifles. And actually, we've seen some teams, you know, like G2, they like to go heavy on the SMG buy in the 2nd round. Astralis, they're a bit more like Navi, just straight to rifles, no messing around. So 4 rifles picked up for them. The UMP on Glaive, but that's fine. As far as the SMGs are concerned, it's like a mini rifle, basically. And so they're just willing to just sit and wait. Look at this, spread out across the map. They know that Dignitas have got their backs to the wall in this round at least, that they're going to be going for something tricky. They're just waiting to see where it's going to come from.
But I would say that the sort of the fact that Navi now are doing it with less SMGs and Astralis too, I think we're just watching a switch in the metagame slowly happening, and that's pretty exciting. Really good setup here. Glaive in first with the UMP, but you see Kerrigan ready to cover that corner where MSL was trying to peek out. So it's basic teamwork, but it's encouraging to see that already Astralis are trying to play sort of pretty solid Counter-Strike here, it seems. Going to be a 2nd round for them, not losing anybody at all.
Very clean work. I mean, all eyes are going to be on Astralis just because they don't have Kirby with them now at this tournament. I mean, that's the big thing. They have to use a stand-in. Glaive, he's been around for ages in the Danish scene, but we haven't really seen him competing on even a tier 2 team for what feels like ages as well. And so, you know, how good is he going to be right now coming into this? You know, you're talking about basically being out in the sticks, out in the boonies, and moving into the center, into the capital of the country, right? You're playing against the very best here.
Right. So, and I mean, what is upsetting is there was definitely a time where you had to mention Glaive amongst the sort of top in Danish Counter-Strike back when Western Wolves was still a thing. Very, very solid in-game leader back then. Right now, they're off to a really good start here in the 3rd round as they're getting some good kills in. Both Kerrigan and Dupree are out of the round, but only MSL left. So just a little dink in the armor here for Astralis, making sure that this round is a bit more expensive than maybe it needed to be.
Yeah, the lucky thing here for Astralis is that in the last round, Glaive was picking up kills with the UMP. This round, Device is picking up kills with the UMP. So this is going to bolster that economy for Astralis. They're going to be able to get that $600 per kill instead of the $300. So it means they'll have a little bit more money to go around once this, once eventually they find MSL, who's sitting on 20 HP. So Zipnix, he's watching for the flank. He should be ready to pick off MSL when he comes around this corner. Easy as you please. And so a 3-0 lead now for Astralis. in the end, just very, very clean, solid, patient Counter-Strike coming out here from Astralis. They know that they're the team that's favored to win this. They know that there's going to be additional pressure on Dignitas. Because of that, Dignitas didn't win the pistol, so Astralis are perfectly content to just let that pressure build on Dignitas and to force them to make the plays.
Yeah, and already, just to point this out as we're going into the 4th round here, already quite a few people watching, I'm noticing. Good viewer count to start off with, so a big shout out to all of you guys watching, no matter where you are in the world. I realize some places it's getting very late, and I mean, even here in Europe, it's a bit early for gamers to be up and watching games, so you guys are doing an awesome job already. Glaive going to be moving up here. Molotov to force out that position for Cajun, and Rubino, they're going to give up that position fairly quickly, but I don't mind it. This is still going to force Astralis to spend a lot of time having to check corners, having to make sure that no one is holding too close, and using a lot of grenades, and that's a great start. The Molotov into the peak for Glaive. Great coordination coming out there, and that's a 2-for-0 trade, and look how aggressive Glaive is being. He's actually moving in here by the time, and you can tell they're not ready for it either. MSL thinking no one would have rotated up that far, and he very nearly goes down. Probably should have gone down.
That was some pretty hard 80-80 spam coming out from Glaive there. Throwback a little bit. Missed shot, but MSL, he's going to be crouching right into Device, who will pick up the kill eventually. Interesting thing to note, Device, he's got that AK. Kerrigan with the AWP. Tensky will find the kill on Device, though, but it's still a man advantage here for Astralis, and they should be able to get that bomb plant going down. So it's going to come down to Tensky and Config now for the retake, and Kerrigan, he's got a bit of a clever angle. He's going to get to hold that long line on both entrances. Tensky just going to walk right into his crosshair, and now Config, he knows where Kerrigan's playing from, but there isn't a whole lot he can do when Astralis have already got 3 guys alive, ready to hold the site.
Yeah, I think at this point, because he doesn't really have a lot, better maybe just to save whatever he's got. He's got $5,050 right now in equipment on him, and there's pretty much no chance he could walk in here. Maybe he could try and injure it if he feels like they're going to run away. I don't see Astralis making that mistake, not this early on. They are sneaking back, and Config's got to be a little bit worried that no one is coming his way. If he took too much damage here, he'd go up to the bomb, but I think he's going to be all right here. So just 50 damage, that's a good number to remember in case you're ever in that position. That's going to be 4-0 for Astralis on the less favored side of Overpass, and a little bit of worry for them so far.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, now they realize, Dignitas at least, they're going to have that internal count going on. They're like, right, okay, we saved a little bit of money on Config. He saved his rifle, but now Astralis' economy is going to be so strong. You can look, I mean, 8,400 on Zipnix after fully buying up here. So this is a bit of a nasty spot for Dignitas because they're going to have to chain rounds together if they want to get into this. I mean, they have to do it anyway. It's just going to be up against a fully bought out Astralis. Astralis don't have to worry about the economy for quite some while here.
Oh, no.
And yeah.
Look at this. They're actually pushing quite heavily towards the B bomb side. Again, they're using Glaive, it seems, as the first guy in. And I mean, if you have someone who is a stand-in, who's not sort of part of the core team, why not have him run first into the bomb side and check out what's going on? It'll be less of a loss than maybe it will be later on if you put Dupree or Device or someone else in there first. We do have the bomb down, and there's not a lot that Dignitas can do. Just save the rifle again, I think, for Config, and maybe try and get a couple of more kills if you can. Which is going to be very tricky, as you can tell. Device cleaning up easy with the submachine gun.
Ooh, Config, though, coming in and doing some work. Device with that MP7, he'll get a quad kill in the end and save a rifle, so just a perfect round for Device as far as he's concerned. But Config does actually make it a little bit more expensive. I just like this from Astralis. They realize, all right, well, where can you really go aggressive if you're on CT and you're ecoing? It's either mid or it's long. Those are the 2 favorite spots for CT's teams to really try and push in and try and catch the terrorist side off guard, right? So Astralis are like, right, we'll completely disregard that part of the map and we'll run straight on to B. It's a perfect call coming in from Kerrigan. And I'm actually wondering, does Glaive actually have any say, in the calling right now? Is he there to help out Kerrigan a little bit in the mid-round, because he used to be a big in-game leader as well for the Danish teams. Yeah,
I mean, Glaive was always very good at calling CT sides. He had some really brutal setups on Inferno, amongst others. But
yes.
So if anything, I'd wanted to pitch in there, but I wouldn't want him meddling too much in what Kerrigan has been building for a long time now. Quick trade there. Rubino going down, but Glaive as well. Still seems like a pretty good deal. MSL sneaking back out of connector, trying to see what's going on. And actually, Cajun moving in, almost getting caught, and still will go down. Device on just 12 health, but still going to get a second kill in.
That's a matter of split seconds there for Cajun. He's going to be so furious with himself. And it's also, I mean, it just shows how on point Device is right now. This is perfect for Astralis. Device is a linchpin for the team. He's one of the heavy hitters. So if he's warmed up and hitting shots right out the gates, I mean, Astralis, they should actually have everything going for them at this point. Now, Dupree and Device both hitting shots. That means that Astralis are heavily favored to win. Is when you see those guys start to struggle that, you know, things start to fall apart. MSL will get the drop on Device in the end. Still a 3-on-3 here, and they do have a good defense set up. Config gonna catch them lining up at Monster. Picks up 2 kills, and now it's all on Kerrigan with 11 HP. And Config, the triple kill to hold the B site and save it for Dignitas. They get their first round on the board.
Very, very well done. And I mean, I love the move out from MSL up there to catch out Device as well. There's a lot of information that's got right there already. And then the sort of the triple kill coming from Config just working out perfectly. So 5-1, and moving into the 7th round, we got Kerrigan picking up the AWP and Cajun on the other side. And I mean, obviously, it is interesting having Cajun fight his old teammates here. Obviously, that's a big part of the story.
There's going to be a lot on the line for him. You know that he's going to be frustrated if he misses shots, but if he hits those shots, he's going to be feeling pretty good. Molotov is going to force him off the angle and connector. So it seems like Dignitas, this is going to be one of their go-to setups. Get those guys down into connector, try and challenge Astralis here, control that middle part of the map, that link between the A side and the B side for the T side. But after the initial peak, boom, just fall back to that A side, try and shift up the defense, and instead get aggressive in sewers. So it's actually coming together nicely, the steps here for Dignitas. The only problem is he walks right into a wallbang from Zipnix. Takes a lot of damage, Tensky. He's down to 56, and he hasn't even seen anybody.
Right now, still over a minute left, so we'll see if Astralis can pick up this round. If they do, then Dignitas are going to be in a lot of trouble. Again, the round loss bonus will have been reset by Dignitas winning that 1 round, so you don't want to go back to losing straight away. Obviously, most of you guys already realize that. But there are always newcomers who end up watching the major because it's become sort of, you know, a traffic point for a lot of Counter-Strike. So we'll see if maybe we can get into details on that later on. Rubino's hiding in the corner with Cajun inside the A-bomb side. I personally hate this setup, but we'll see if it can work out. It can work out if Cajun's on point. He's actually going to walk away just as jump comes through. Rubino picks up a kill, and Cajun gets 1. And they are going to let Rubino even fall back, which is normally what you're not going to be allowed to do. You will be caught essentially out there, and he ends up going down. I think he could have probably just ran. Good double kill coming in on Cajun, which will give Dignitas a real good chance of winning this round.
Yeah, with 15 seconds left, they're looking fantastic, Dignitas. 4 players alive. They've all rotated up to that A site, barring Config, who's still hanging around on B. But now, 9 seconds left, and MSL will find the kill on Zipnix, and it's pretty much falling apart here for Astralis. Kerrigan actually just needs to peek and die. If he goes down after this clock runs out, he's not going to get any money at the end of this round, and that won't help things for Astralis. But he will be able to survive with that AWP. He gets to hold on to it for the next round. And, I mean, it seems like Kerrigan is just continuing to hold on to the AWP, which is very interesting. I mean, Device, there was quite a bit of time there where Device was the main opper, but it seems like it's changed up here.
Yes, interesting development right now. Astralis not even getting into a position where they could properly execute onto a bomb site. They got picked off way before that happened, and that setup ultimately worked out well because Cajun got 2 of the shots in, so in that respect, a pretty good job, I would say, on Dignitas, who do need to pick up almost every round from here on out. I don't think they could allow Astralis to get much more than 5 or 6 rounds as a sort of a breaking point almost for the CT side. Config and Tensky holding down. Cajun and Rubino are really far up, and I like this setup, but if they don't find anyone within the next 10 or so seconds, I'd really love for them to try and go and peek around the corner up there on the long side, because otherwise they're just far away from everything and they don't have any information, so they need something to play off of.
This is really a gamble from Dignitas on that B site, basically. This is like, okay, you're not seeing anything on long, but you already have all 3 players here on the B side holding solid. Tensky's been boosted up on the site as well to look into connector. And there were a couple players there just a few seconds ago for Astralis. Dupree still waiting for Tensky to go for his usual peek on short. So this is, I mean, this is where it gets subtle between these players, and we're going to have actually a boost here from Kerrigan. Now he's got the angle on Cajun. If Cajun takes a step out into the open, it's going to get nasty. Not sure if Kerrigan spotted Rubino jumping there, but he will spot out Cajun. Not going to get the follow-up. They trade shots, and both players missing. So a bit of a missed opportunity for Astralis to open things up here and get things rolling onto that A site.
Look at that. Once they show themselves on that side of the map, they're going to rotate back down. Sip still has the bomb outside of B alone, which is a little bit scary. Hopefully he's not going to try and push it in alone, because that would be a bit of a problem. MSL peeking in, and they still have Config on that far right side, behind the slope, pushing in, and a great shot from Kerrigan. Almost gets the second, but in fact it's MSL who picks up a double kill, drops the bomb with just 17 seconds left. And this is really going to be tough for Astralis to try and get in and get the bomb down. They need to do it now. Tensky picking up 1 more kill, and Glaive coming coming through and punishing him. 8 seconds left, and the bomb is being planted. Now it's Cajun and Rubino trying to see if they can retake this and stop Astralis from getting back into the game. Good kill coming through. Glaive is already down, and now it's all on Device. But he is the star player of the team. Not really connecting that much. A long spray puts him down at 14 health. He picks up the AWP, and that's going to be a kill right there. He needed that one-shot potential. Cajun is out, and Astralis is going to pick up a 6th round.
This is going to be maddening for Dignitas because unless they can start winning these clutch situations, this is where Astralis is going to run away with it. That's both clutches going to Astralis so far in this first half. And so those are the big high impact rounds. Those are the ones that will change it your way to allow you to keep things under control. Dignitas, they really need to get that boost going right now. They really need that kind of confidence play that winning a clutch actually does for you, because now Astralis are just like, great, well, you know, we can get that bomb down, but we're even going to come through in the tough spots. This map is ours. So definitely a little bit tricky here. And again, Dignitas, they just can't seem to get their economy going. Again to pistols, and again with the aggression in mid. So Astralis this time, they were ready and waiting for him. They didn't charge towards B. Instead, they just kind of sat and expected that kind of aggression to come out. Now Glaive, he's going to find the first kill onto MSL. Spots the second, but he's not going to get the third. Rubino, they're going to get the drop on him.
I mean, I like the part where Dignitas try and take some initiative in a round like this. You know, instead of just waiting around, I hate seeing teams do that. Much better to try and have them do something. Now, never mind that probably still works out in Astralis' favor. But at least they got the AK, and they've sort of put a little bit of pressure back on them. So Config and Tensky are sort of holding either bomb site, while Rubino is out and about the Lone Ranger.
Yeah, Rubino is stuck. I just wish he could run back to that A site and hand that AK over to Config, who actually has Kevlar and who's been hitting shots for Dignitas so far. If he's just going to hang around with without any Kevlar, if he gets into a spray fight, well, that's where the aim punch comes in. That's where his aim goes to hell, and he just can't actually, you know, take those kinds of fights with Astralis right now, who are equipped. It looks like Astralis now with 40 seconds left are going to start rotating around. They want to get up towards that A site. All 4 players heading towards long, and this Device leading the way. He's going to be the entry fragger in this situation. He's going to be the first man onto the site, but there are all 3 players here for Dignitas. They've accurately called the situation here, Dignitas. They have their defense set up. Now it's up to Device to crack it open here on the site.
This could be very interesting. Maybe that AK could have a real say in this upcoming fight. Just 17 seconds left, but Rubino goes down. Did they spot Config by that truck? I don't think it even matters anymore. They're just going to overpower him. 10 seconds left here. And if he had the AK, maybe it could have made a difference. But either way, it's still a pretty decent round, I think, for Dignitas. They made a good call. They stole an AK. They did some damage. Going to put us in the 10th round, where they could finally pick up an AWP again. Yeah,
7-2. Astralis just running away with this now. They've got a huge lead on their T side. If they get any further than this, it's going to start looking real grim for Dignitas. So now, well, I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, the other thing, though, is that where are they going to put Glaive on the CT side for Astralis on this Overpass map, right? He is the stand-in. It's going to be a little tricky to call his spot immediately off the bat and whether Astralis are going to be comfortable with the setup. So there's still a little bit of an edge for Dignitas when they go onto their T side. They've got their full roster. Everybody knows what they need to do. So it's not over yet for Dignitas, but Astralis, like, the more T-side rounds they get, the better it's going to be. And Kerrigan not going to find the entry. Try to sneak his way out through Monster. It's not going to happen. And Tensky's going to rush down Dupree. Rubino's there to take out Device. 2 players down for Astralis at the beginning of the round.
And they fall back, and what a delight it is to see Rubino and Cajun making it back to the A-bomb site. Sit will pick up 1 kill, and he goes for a bit more spray here, finding Config, the Molotov in there, but Sit will fall, and this is not looking good right now for Astralis. They are in a 2-on-3, but they do not have a lot of health, and Cajun in the perfect position, up in the sniper nest to take down Kerrigan, leaving just a Glaive here to try and see if he could maybe pull it through in a 1-on-3.
The stand-in. Let's see if he can be the hero. Get that clutch going in here for Astralis or Dignitas. Tensky's going to miss the first shot. Glaive still has to know that Cajun's on high, so he can't really peek past that pillar. Problem is that the bomb is dropped on the slope into pit, so now it's really looking grim here for Glaive. He's going to hope that somebody's going for a flank, but all 3 players for Dignitas just watching each other's backs, holding the angles, and they know that it's just a matter of time. Glaive going to go charging in, not going to find the kill. Tensky will shut him down midair. And that's a 3rd round on the board now for Dignitas. So Dignitas definitely showing that they've got some fight in them here. Question is whether they can actually just maintain now, because it's Astralis who are about to just spend all of their bank. This is the best chance now for Dignitas to start getting some control in the half.
Yeah, and it's definitely not done yet. And I think your point about the stand-in on the CT side is super valid. It's almost a bit counterintuitive, because if you just look at the game sort of objectively, you'd think, well, surely if you're defending, all you need to do really is to just sort of hold one spot. So does it really matter if you know everything else that's happening on the map? The problem is once you lose someone on the CT side, you need to start rotating and moving around. And if you're a newcomer to the team, if you're a stand-in, maybe you don't know exactly how everyone else moves, and that's a big problem. I like the attempt from Cajun, but he's going to go down to Carrigan, who obviously saw that coming. He was scoped up on top of that smoke all the while. So big problem there for Dignitas.
More than ready to deal with it. That's again, just Astralis. It's kind of been their go-to. Apart from the one round where they really just charged towards the B site, they had that read. They knew what Dignitas were going to do, trying to push mid. So they just charged onto B Astralis. Every round apart from that, pretty much, it's just been them sitting and waiting for Dignitas to make the play. You're going to go aggressive, Dignitas? We're just perfectly happy to just sit and wait and run this clock down, because we know that you have to go for information plays. You go for the information play at the beginning to spot us at mid, and then eventually around the minute mark, you're going to have to go for another one, especially now that you're down a man. Dignitas need to actually try and make something happen here.
They got that same setup, and it's one that Cloud9 used to love to run. Sean Gares would do this a lot, and I always hated it. I don't think Sean and I ever quite agreed on it, but my issue is that if Rubino misses a shot here, or if he's just smoked out, then MSL is alone entirely, so that's a big problem. But he's going to sneak up right into Dupree, and he ends up losing that fight. Bit of a problem there. Now, Rubino trying to see if he can maybe bring it back in favor of his team. He's got the AWP in hand and looking for another shot in. Bit of a shoulder peek coming out. 20 seconds left though, and now he's going to get snuck up in. Glaive, really good movement coming out, but down to the B bomb side, it's Config defending against the bomb. Device, if he goes down, the round might be lost, and I think he just realized, gonna connect with the spray. 10 seconds left, and Sipnix somehow gets the kill.
This is wild. How are they doing this? Astralis, like they get control of that A site, and then they're already rotating that bomb down. This is the problem with playing so passively, is that you're really not giving yourself a whole lot of time to play with. Now it's Tensky and Dupree, 1v1. Tensky just gonna stick it. Dupree charging forward, he's just barely gonna make it in time. And the steps that pulls Tensky off of that bomb defuse. So now he actually has to go and fight Dupree. Will get the spot. Makes it perfectly clear that he knows where Dupree is coming from, and Dupree now the one dancing on the edge. Tensky trying to pull a faster on with the USP, and he's gonna get it. He has enough time for the defuse as well with that kit. Lives with 6 HP, and those guys are like on the other side of the hall, and I can hear him shouting from here. So Dignitas pumped. That's another clutch for them.
Tensky actually had the AK, and he just never reloaded it. That seems like some next level type madness, because I'm sure he could have probably done that, but I'm not even convinced he couldn't have stuck the defuse the first time around to maybe just straight get it, but that's obviously a big risk as well. I think he might have had just enough time to actually do that. So 7-4 as a scoreline here, and Dignitas still staying alive in spite of a really great fake. That was really impressive sort of tactical depth coming out of Astralis, but they somehow managed to still throw away the round. So now we're back to Tech9s and armor and a hell of a lot of grenades.
Yeah, just straight force here, no respect. And it's going to be the charge out onto the B site. The bomb is waiting by Monster, but they've got control of stores. There's going to be going straight up short, and it's on Tensky and Config now to hold. Config did a lot of damage in the last round, and he continues to do so here. He takes down Dupree. Tensky on the side is going to spot the wrap from Kerrigan, but it is still a 3-on-3 somehow. Astralis are finding these trade kills, and they will get a bomb plant.
Oh, how did Device get that kill on Tensky? Cajun was scoped up there, so he got the instant return, but that looked a bit ridiculous now. The bomb is planted a little bit further back than you normally would, so that's going to really help out Astralis. Again, not really a standard plant, and I absolutely love that. That smoke is going to help out a little bit. And Sip now hiding in the corner. They're going to boost on top to see if they can maybe spot it. Glaive is in a great position. He jumps and gets the kill on Rubino. And now all on Cajun. And this is not easy. He has got the kid. He's going to hold it down. He's actually got his back turned. He's just going to commit to it. And it will be Glaive the stand-in, picking up a triple kill here and making it 8 rounds for Astralis. Very good job indeed. And speaking of Glaive, overall, doing a pretty good job. 11 kills on him. Device on the top, which is what we like to see. But the fact that Glaive is doing fairly well right now, that's a sign of worry, I think, for everybody else who's in the tournament.
Yeah, he's holding his own right now. Lady Luck giving him a bit of a wink in that round as well. I mean, he lives 2 HP. Like, if he jumps to spot Rubino, he should die. Like, just die. Rubino's already watching short. He should just never make it through. So Rubino falls short for his team in that round. Unfortunately for Dignitas, they're back to pistols. It's almost like the theme of this first half. They'll get around where they have rifles, great, but then they're right back to pistols again, and it's Astralis controlling the situation. Glaive with the pop flash attempt over in Connector. And again, Team Dignitas, they are trying to set up a lot of traps over here in Connector this time around. They've got 3 players ready and waiting with the triangle.
Yeah, you would think, wouldn't you, that it was the police that would sort of always have money, being government funded and everything.
Right.
But apparently that's not the case right now, and it does cause a lot of trouble. And you can, it also almost a sign of desperation that they did go for the buy up here, that they didn't try and save, right? That means they know they're under a lot of pressure to try and get back into it. And again, very slow and careful style coming out. The only one taking any risk, again, is Glaive. And oh no, MSL.
The smoke went
saved.
off. It went off too late. He actually threw the smoke to cancel it.
That's almost worse, isn't it?
Yeah, right? Like insult to injury. He actually throws the smoke and it doesn't go off in time to save him. Oh, that's painful. All right, well, a little embarrassing for MSL. Still, they do trade 1 for 1, so the setup works. And this time, the guy who picks up the AK has Kevlar. Rubino, he's got that gun once again, so let's see if he can actually put it to good use here, because he is going to be on that A site. He gets spotted immediately by Device. Device looking to try to pounce on this. 28 seconds left in the round. Again, Astralis, they keep running down this clock. They're just giving themselves such a small window for, well, they're giving Dignitas a pretty good window to actually shut things down, to screw things up for them in the round. Especially
because Cajun is wrapping around really quickly, coming up from behind the connector. He's actually right behind a free Kerrigan, moving in here, trying to see if he can get the bomb plant down. Only 10 seconds. Cajun picking up a double kill, coming in with a flank, and not even going to be a bomb plant here. A big win for Dignitas. Astralis off to a good start, but it crumbled at the end, and now could get a bit interesting on the other side. The terrorist team, they are running out of money, and they're going to force up as well. Wow. That's, again, a pretty big commitment here.
It's not even a quasi-buy. They are just going backs to the wall here, and they realized, well, last time we went for a force, we rushed B, it worked. So let's just keep doing that. We have 2 rounds left in this half. If we get a bomb plant, we'll be able to force again in the next round. And so Astralis, yeah, they're just rinsing and repeating. They've only rushed B, and it's, again, just straight in. There's the HE to try and slow things up. They body block the smoke grenade. Kerrigan takes point, spots the man behind Toxic, and he will find the kill just before going down, but Config is still alive in pit, and he gets both kills. This is quickly falling apart now for Astralis as Config just wipes them out. The ace for Config. And that was perfectly played by him, falling back, sacrificing his teammate, sure, but if you're going to get all 5 kills behind it, that's a worthy bait. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, great intuition coming out of Config as well. He does a pretty cool mix of playing very defensively, and then he actually, as they're setting up, he switches into playing aggressively once again. So just tries to catch them off in the middle of that push. That's going to put us in the 15th round, the last of the half here. And Astralis, either way, they're going to be satisfied with 8 rounds, but it's encouraging to see Dignitas starting to come alive a little bit here, and especially with Config getting an ace like that, should maybe put the team into overdrive, or at least encourage them a little bit.
Well, this bodes well for Dignitas. If Config is awake and he's hitting shots, he's one of the key players along with Cajun B. Both of them have been doing a fair job here for Dignitas so far. And well, again, they deliver. MSL is going to find Kerrigan at Cajun B, picks off Zipmix, and Cajun B will end the half. 2 kills, 3 kills total for him in the last round, and that's 7-8. Dignitas trail. But now they go into that T side, and if they win that pistol, it's going to be just brutal here for Astralis to try and get their heads in this game. But we're going to take a quick break here at the half before we get into the second one. So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. It is Dignitas and Astralis, and you see some highlights here from the first half. Config getting a triple, and he went on later on to get an ace as well in one round. So overall, he played extremely well for Dignitas. Might have been the main factor to keep his team in the first half. It does finish 8-7 in favor of Astralis, so they are going to be feeling quite good about that overall result. We'll see how it goes here in the second half. What do you think?
If we want to just look at straight kills right now, Config and Cajun, they're the only guys sitting in the mid-teens. The rest of the teammates, Tensk, ESL, and Rubino, sitting on single digits right now. So it's like the two heavy hitters for the team that you have to look to have an impact for Dignitas to win are delivering. Now, what will tip things in Dignitas' favor is if a third player starts to wake up. You know, Rubino, if he starts to actually, you know, hit some key shots. He's had some success down in connector in the first half on the CT side. Now on the T side, you know, is he going to be able to wake up and start, you know, leading the team in there to actually pick up these rounds? Not really seeing it just yet, but at least Config and Cajun, those are like all eyes are going to be on those two guys to actually deliver here for Dignitas.
Yes, and this is such a weird matchup just because of the domestic element. Obviously, so many Danish people playing against each other here. Also, the fact, even worse, that Cajun used to play with the Astralis team, so he will know a lot about how they approach things and just their behavioral patterns in general. There are so many aspects of this match that make it quite hard to predict. But I mean, Astralis, you got to put them as favorites right now. Still, even with Glaive playing, I think that's going to be the main point to take away. Now we'll see if they could do just well on the CT side. It's now Cajun charging up with the whole rest of the team behind him. Dupree got to get back behind cover, otherwise the Glock train would simply run him over, and he realizes that much.
He spotted two as well. Kerrigan will be able to go for the confirmation, and he's going to get overrun. Config there to trade the kill on MSL, and now he's got a P2K to play with. That's actually, it's Rubino robbing him of the P2K. Still, that one-shot headshot potential is there now for Dignitas, so that's going to make Astralis a little antsy.
Look at Device. That charge up here. Now, this could sort of make or break the round. If he gets a couple of kills or even just gets a kills and runs away, that's great. But if he commits to the fight and gets run over, then that might be a lot of trouble here. Device, he's going to meet them right on the stairwell, and Cajun going to run him down. So that's a big issue now. They give up a second of those CT pistols, the USP, and both of these are so good at range. This is a big problem for Astralis.
Yeah, this removes one of the CT strengths. The fact that at any range you can get that one-shot headshot versus the Glock, where even if you get a headshot at range, you're going to need 2 shots to get the kill. And now, while Dignitas, they have that punching power, and they're going to group up together. So they're going to get the Glocks into the fight. They're going to lead the way with the Glocks. They should, at least. And then they'll have the P2K. They'll have the USP to actually, you know, clean things up afterwards. And right now, it's Glaive dancing around on that A site, just hoping to spot a shoulder somewhere, trying to get some information. Dignitas so far showing nothing, but they're going to have to start this push soon. 25 seconds left on the clock, and there we go. Config, he's been spotted by Glaive. This should actually open things up as Glaive peeks out into mid. He sees just how much trouble he's in. It's all over now for Glaive. It's all on Zipnix and Dupree to make it happen. 2v4.
If Dignitas play this right, there should be almost no way in. But what the hell was that headshot? Dupree taking out Cajun B in what looked like a bit of a ridiculous flick. Now they're going to try and see if they can get onto the site here. The kit is currently dropped, and I think it's quite far away. I think it was on Device, in fact. So, oh, they just picked it up.
It was on Glaive.
Oh, it was on Glaive. That's a big relief right now. That might actually at least partially save the round here. But Device goes down, Dupree goes down, and Sipnik's now trapped, sandwiched in. They're coming from either angle, and he's going to end up dropping a Config, picks up a triple kill. And that was it. The kit, at least, I thought for a moment it was on Device. That would have been horrendous, but they do still pull through. Dignitas gonna equalize the score and make it 8-8. Speaking of Device, though, there has to be a time where you wonder, how far is he willing to go through with that flank, you know? Because if he stays in T-spawn and just hides, then he's still pretty close to being able to flank them at A. He could go back to B in case they sort of circumvented him and gone back to B through connector. So I kind of wonder if it wouldn't have been better for him to sort of slow down a bit at some point.
That's what I thought he was going to do, actually. Just sit there. I mean, obviously we had the X-ray. We could see how close Team Dignitas were. So if Device had actually just sat there, he probably would have wrecked them. But you know, he decided to go in, probably trying to get into connector quick or something along those lines, right? And he gets punished for it. So it's just one of those things, those like what-if sort of scenarios where you can imagine how it would have played out. Unfortunately, the way it did play out means that Astralis were down basically the guy who's carrying them right now. And yeah, and you all saw how it played out. Both teams pick up a pistol round. And so Dignitas now, they get that strong start that we were talking about with how close the scoreline is. Now Dignitas on the T side, they tie it up 8-8. Astralis, another team that doesn't really go for the Kevlar buys in the second round, will be on pistols, just pistols here. A couple of nades picked up though. Zipnix has that HE, so we'll see where he decides to use it. And then you have Glaive with a single flash grenade.
I like that. Thank you very much, Glaive. Dupree also with the Deagle might be one of the few people who actually run into anyone early on here. Either him or Carrigan, it seems. Not that I think Carrigan could do a lot of this range, except just spot out what's going on. He will see a couple of people running around, so quick rotation coming in, and Dignitas are going to continue on into the bomb side, it seems. Got to be careful they don't commit too much to this, but the early engagement working out just fine.
Nice attempt by Carrigan. He had the angle right through the smoke, though. Glaive is going to get caught. Xyp9x with that HE will find the kill. And so now it's on Device and Xyp9x, the last two alive. Once again, Astralis find themselves retaking 2 men down here on the A site, and it isn't looking too hot. Device, he's got Tensky penned in, but he's not peeking, and Tensky finds a way out. Now Device has been spotted. He's got that CZ, and he's already found a headshot on Config, so they're doing a little bit of damage. Astralis would love to pick up another kill. That's the main goal here. Make it so that Team Dignitas only survive with 2 players in the round. Make it as expensive as possible for Dignitas. Because if they make it out with all 3 AKs, that's not ideal. Device tries to charge forward. Xyp9x not going to be able to follow it up. You can clearly see they were just like, right, if we can kill off Tensky, who's stuck on the site, we're all right. We've done our jobs. But Tensky, with the help of his teammates, survives, and it's 9-8. Dignitas, they're off to that start. They got over the first hurdle. They won that pistol. They survive against the pistols in the second. Now they just have to do it again, Anders, and get those 3 rounds that they deserve after winning the pistol on the T side.
I mean, the main test, the really big test, is going to happen in the 4th round, the upcoming round. That's when Astralis can afford all the equipment, and they will be able to buy a lot of it. Again, they haven't really invested too much into these early rounds. So if Dignitas can beat them there, we have a very interesting game in our hands. It'll be hard to call who comes out on top. But I think if Astralis win the upcoming round, not this one, but the next one, then who knows? They might run away with the game. I could see that happening.
You're already seeing the difference here in how they call as well. MSL, Carrigan. Dignitas didn't go for a B stack at all when they were ecoing, right? They chose to charge mid, which was why we saw, I think it was Cajun or was it MSL, chuck an HE into mid. You know, in case you go for that mid charge with the pistols, you take that HE to the face, you're going to be a very sad person. Instead, Astralis was just like, right, we're going to just bet. We'll put everybody on B at the beginning. They've rotated 2 players up to A, which I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, it's like, actually, if you're just going to go for the stack, go for the stack. Leave one guy on A, but yeah, Xyp9x is still here. Okay, so they actually did do that. They still got Xyp9x there to support from Sniper.
And he's there with the flashbang, so this is something that we've been bringing up for so long and actually been criticizing a lot of teams for, especially on Cobblestone. There are just so many ways to spring this trap. So if you look at Xyp9x right now, he's got the flashbang in hand, and that the whole round hinges on this guy throwing a good flashbang when the push happens, because they can clean up with the pistols if that flashbang is good, but it's pretty hard to do that, especially if they're going to come in from the L bend as well. These people from Monster Tunnel should be flashed when the flashbang goes through. It's actually out already. No, Rubino turning around, really good reaction, and MSL gonna clean up instead. Just complete failure coming out of Astralis here, losing 3 men early on and another 2 coming in. MSL quad kill with the MAC-10, which is gonna land him at about, well, almost 7,000 at the beginning of this round. So pretty good stuff there. It's still a good idea, but they were a little bit too slow with the flashbang. They were already pushed in.
Yeah, that was it. And Rubino, you see how the reactions play out, man? Boom, just turns around as soon as he sees the flash coming. Completely ineffective flash in the end.
And that's why I say it was too late, because it's supposed to go in so that it just comes around the sort of the actual pillar. They're not supposed to see it sort of be thrown from up there.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Astralis were just holding so passively, right? They were just crouched and waiting. They weren't peeking to get the info to spot. But that's the way it plays out. Sometimes, you know, you've got those pistols. There, you know, it really is like a bit of a small chance, especially when you're rocking mostly P2000s to actually win the round. So it's not going to be the end of the world here for Astralis. If they lose this round, though, it's going to start looking grim. They've got those 4 rifles. They've got the AWP on Carrigan. And again, the AWP on Carrigan. Device just doesn't seem to want to have anything to do with the sniper rifle right now, even though he got a clutch with it in the first half.
It's hard to tell sometimes, and I mean, we don't know what they've been practicing, but this is a team that has had that challenge for a while, you know, who actually picks it up. And when Cajun sort of was picked up on the team originally, that was supposed to be his job, and then he wasn't too consistent with it. Then they try and make Device the main one, and I guess now Carrigan doing a little bit of everything, it seems. He is pushed up a little bit aggressively here, and he doesn't have that much backup. Dupree is close behind him, but if they were to run him down, don't see him making it out. So I kind of like the fact that he's falling back. Astralis have gone for a setup that allows Dignitas to sort of take control of most of the map without using too much utility, which means they still have 4 smokes in their on their team that they can use to maybe block down this bomb site and just get in there and get the bomb down.
Exactly. Oh, look at this. And Glaive is rotating back towards B. So they really are trying to bolster the defense on that B site. Dignitas, they went to it in the last round. Would they go for it again? No, MSL is calling for an A play here. 20 seconds left, though. I mean, they're not leaving themselves any time, any room to work with. Kerrigan with the first pick on Rubino, and then the rest of Dignitas are just going to charge up on long. Flash there to even buy more time. Kerrigan going to miss the follow-up shot. 10 seconds left as Cajun takes out Dupree. But this is all the pressure now to get this bomb down. The flash is effective. 2 kills come through for Glaive. He could get the third, but MSL is going to shut him down. And it's a man advantage now for Astralis going into the retake.
Oh, this is going to be tough for Dignitas to try and hold on to. MSL very much out in the open. That's a good smoke to come through. But Device walking in from behind, going to take down both MSL and Tensky. And you're right, not a lot of time. And Astralis pretty quick with the rotation there. That's going to give them the round. And we will be at 10-8. So that was a big test for Astralis. They absolutely needed to win that round. They only lost 2 members. That's also a good sign that their economy is at least improving. This flash with the smoke there is just perfect teamwork.
That was nuts. But yeah, what I'm wondering right now is, because this is that Danish matchup, right? The mind games are going to go so deep. What I'm wondering is if MSL and Kerrigan are overthinking things, right? Because we saw it for the T side on Astralis, where they kept running down that clock down to 20 seconds before actually pushing onto a site. We're seeing it here with MSL. They didn't leave themselves any time to work with their Dignitas. It was literally just like 15 seconds, run up, plant the bomb, cross your fingers and hope that nobody's going to dunk a nade on you or just spray through the smoke and cancel it, because then you lose the round, right? That's cutting it way too close. In general, you want to see teams start to actually execute onto a site with like 40 seconds, 35 seconds left in the round, so they have some room to maneuver with if something goes wrong when the push goes through. So Dignitas, they need to tighten up their game. MSL needs to start being a bit more decisive with the calls here and getting them going a bit earlier in the round so that they aren't getting caught out just like there.
It feels like both teams really want, on the terrorist side, they want the CT side to come and find them first. You know, they're hoping for some aggression that they can play into and maybe win an early fight like that. And both CT sides have been pretty defensive. I think Dignitas showed a bit more creativity on the CT side, and then Astralis have so far. Spray down from Sip, that's a pretty good angle there, and they're trying to follow up on it, but Device is there to cover his back, so that's a 2-for-0 trade, and Glaive coming in. So a 3-man setup on B. They each pick up a kill. It could not possibly be any better at this point in time now. All on Cajun to try and make this round expensive. He does get the shot on Glaive, but not the kill. And that's going to be a flawless round coming out of Astralis to tie up the scoreline at 10-10.
Flawless is right. That's where everything plays out perfectly, right? Xyp9x gets the first pick on short. That successfully baits Rubino in through Monster into Device, who was waiting. And that, I mean, Glaive with the rotate down from CT, then saves Xyp9x. It's like everything step by step fell into place for Astralis for that defense to just hold perfectly versus Dignitas. That's kind of where like your stomach kind of drops if you're Dignitas, where you're just like, well, you know, we just got owned in that round, really. What else can we do? You know, we're trying to bring it back. We're trying to get the kill, to get the punish. But Astralis were one step ahead the entire time. And now look at this from Kerrigan, man. He is aggressive, and there's pistols coming at him right around the corner. He's going to be able to pick up the kill, and he has support from his teammate in Connector. Dupree, though, getting headshot down to 64.
Yeah, they don't want to overcommit to try and sort of save this AWP, and it looks like they sort of managed to calm down a little bit. But the worst thing that can happen is if you just try and run in one at a time to take a fight. But looks like they managed to stop the flood of Dignitas that were running up there. A little bit scary for Cajun for a moment, or sorry, for Kerrigan for a moment.
That's like an opera's worst nightmare, right? It's like you hear the footsteps and you're like, wait. I hear a lot of footsteps. Sounds like a herd coming at me, not just like the single lone gunman. That was the troop. And if you're an opera, you've got one shot, and then you're back onto your pistol, and you're just hoping that the guy isn't going to be there to trade on you the way he should be with Tech 9s, right? So, yeah, definitely a little bit of a scary situation, but they managed to keep the control. Astralis now lead 11-10. And ever since picking up that first gun round, I mean, things have been looking up here for Astralis. Dignitas now, they've got rifles again. Cajun, no AWP for him. It's just the AKs across the board here for Dignitas, and a healthy nade count. So let's see if they just decide to be a little bit more decisive. If they actually decide to get in here and be a bit more aggressive, that's what I'm looking for here for Dignitas. They just need to get out there and charge into the defense, just beat Astralis straight up.
Well, again, very quick. It very nearly worked last time with pistols, so why not try it with rifles? They're going to go for a quick trade here. Flashbang comes out. Tensky's low on health and flashed in the corner. Glaive doing a very good job. I don't think he needs to recommit to this, and he can't fall back, unfortunately, trying his best there. And I think he got some help. Some flashbangs coming up from behind, but he still ended up going down. So now 3-on-3 here, and this is a much quicker round coming out of Dignitas. Device and Xyp9x, though, are in good position to try and deal with this.
if they lose this round, Dignitas, they're going to be so frustrated just because they literally went for that. They're like, right, enough of the sitting around and waiting, charge at them, take the fight to them, look for the headshots. If you've gone through all of your options and then this one fails you, it's going to be looking grim. But cajunB's there to open things up. He takes down Xyp9x. Device still crouching on the site, though, has a chance to step in here and actually have an impact, but he gets forced off the angle. He decides to give it up, and that bomb is going to get planted. They line up for Device, but he misses the second kill, and it's all on Karrigan now, 1v2.
Oh man, what a round already now. Karrigan here, he's got a smoke. He's going to put it close to try and fake them out. He's got the AWP, so that smoke is going to do a lot for him. They have to go and peek him now every once in a while. A Molotov also coming in. He's up on top of the box. He's going to get the first kill. Config reveals himself, and there it is. Karrigan clutching it. Oh, this man has had so many rounds in his life where it gets so close, and this is one of the few times he actually does it. And that was masterful play. He uses the smoke and then forces them to go and peek. He picks them off, and I think Config, if he hadn't fired that rifle, then Karrigan would have been hard for him to check that corner. He wouldn't have known to check it. So just a tiny, tiny error. Look at Karrigan. He doesn't know that Config is there until he fires that gun. Oh, man. That's a big round. That might be one of the pivotal rounds here between these two teams. Oh,
absolutely. That's going to completely turn things. Not only did you get beat up at the beginning of the round when you chose to go ultra aggressive, but then you lose a clutch to Karrigan. Not saying like that like it's a bad thing, you know, but you're right. I mean, we've seen a lot of situations where Karrigan, he gets 3 kills, 2 kills, but he fails to get the last one and clutch it for his team. This time, against Dignitas, it actually works. And while Dignitas, again, they're looking to change things up. They're going to go for an aggressive push onto the B site. There's the flash to open things up. Device trades places, gets back into that smoke. Actually, I think it looks like Config realized it, though, and Device is going to try and come out. Not going to happen. He gets shut down. And there we go. Now everything works out perfectly for Dignitas. Just a simple flash. Everybody runs in, no fear, and they get the job done.
Yes, and that flashbang was thrown over from Toxic instead, so that's a pretty good job there. Just trying to make sure that that there wasn't any audio cue. You know, if they had underhand thrown that flash in the tunnel itself, then they could have maybe heard that, and it would have been interesting. I love the fact that and you're absolutely right, that Config saw that somehow. He realized that Devices walked into the smoke, because otherwise things could get real tricky.
Well, now, I mean, that's a feel-good moment for Dignitas. You got beat up in a clutch in the last round. This time, everything goes according to plan. You even changed it up where you go towards the B site. Haven't been really hitting it too hard, so things are looking up here. We're looking at Xyp9x, actually, who's trailing a little bit here on Astralis. If you look at the scoreboard, just the scoreboard, right, with the kills, Xyp9x is still sitting on single digits, whereas the rest of his team are starting to get into the teens. dupreeh, Karrigan, kind of lagging behind on Device and Glaive, though. I mean, it's still mind-blowing to see that Glaive is the one who's right up there with Device right now. 21 kills for him. It has to make you wonder, you know, how Astralis decided to set up the CT. Did they just actually ask Glaive, like, right, where do you play? And just make your stand-in as effective as possible and just gave him his spots?
It could be something like that. I mean, he's also going to be playing with less pressure because for all he knows, this is just a one-time thing until Kjaerbye's back in it. Now, right. I did tweet quite a while ago when they announced this was happening. I said, this is probably going to end up like some sort of liquid Kuster situation where Glaive does really well, and suddenly everyone is like, well, should they keep Glaive and you know, never mind Kjaerbye? I tweeted that because I thought that would be, you know, a good little prediction to put in, but...
Get your fix on the drama.
Of course, you know, yes. Of course. I doubt it very seriously, in all honesty, but, you know, from Astralis' point of view, if they could make it out of the group here, I mean, this is the easiest group by some margin, but still, if they can make it out, considering they're not playing with their real lineup, even that, I think, would be sort of a bit of a victory. And then anything beyond that, I guess we'll see how it goes. Right now, MSL sneaking on down through connector. There is dupreeh and Karrigan. And this time dupreeh, he wants to check that corner, and Cajun's on the other side.
Now that setup is there. I mean, 3 players waiting, and now the push comes through. Cajun rewarded. Again, you have to remind people that Cajun, he's playing against his old team, so he's waiting for the push to come out. Maybe he's thinking, right, so if we show ourselves over here, what Astralis used to do with this, or the tendency of my teammate was this, he would do this. You know, right, he has all this inside info that he gets to play off of now, which is just going to make Astralis' life a little bit more difficult. dupreeh, you know, he finds that out. Karrigan somehow lives long enough to find a kill on Rubino, though, and he gets the follow-up as well. MSL is down. Now Karrigan will finally get traded by Config, who was a little late coming up from long, but Karrigan made the difference. It's a 3-on-3, and now a 3-on-2, and Xyp9x just going ham behind Optimus. Finally gets shut down, but this isn't looking good. Config's only got 8. Yeah, exactly. He's got 8 HP in no time.
And he goes down after the time has run out, I believe. So that's an even bigger problem there. I don't know why Carrigan survived the first initial fight, because he was flashed and out in the open. And then afterwards, some incredible flicks coming out of the Danish captain. That's very impressive. So 13-11, and moving into the 25th round. And Dignitas, it's been some key rounds here that they needed to win, and they just haven't. So now they're in a really tough position economically. It's not that Astralis are actually doing much better. Both teams are kind of low on economy, so whoever wins this upcoming round could, well, from Astralis' point of view, either almost win the game, or Dignitas could be right back in it.
If they could reset here, but they are not going to get much of a chance. Dupree's there to catch Cajun. So there's the first kill going his way. Carrigan drops the bomb carrier. That's Rubino down. Dupree will eventually get overrun. He's just not got any support from the site itself, and so he's out in the open. He gets shot in the face, but there's still a man advantage here for Astralis. And now they know what's actually happening here. Dignitas going to commit to that bomb site. MSL, though, that was a beautiful shot on Glaive and Bank. Just comes around the corner, boom, pre-fire. And now 3-on-3, but Carrigan from long. It's like MSL forgot that there was an offer over there.
Tensky only had the Tech 9 with which to try and defeat Device, and that wasn't good enough. Again, it's going to be another round here for Astralis and Dignitas, though. They didn't invest fully into this round, and with the bomb plant, they are going to have a lot of money to try and fight with. But I'm still getting worried. These rounds are mainly working out for Astralis now. And another 2, and they'll be winning the first map of the Major.
Exactly, the first map of the Major, the first match, no pressure. You know, just everybody, all eyes on you right now.
I think the veto did work out quite well for Astralis overall. I think they're going to be happy playing Overpass, and I wonder if Dignitas had a really deep plan going into this T side, because they do seem to run into a lot of trouble. And again, they keep running the clock very, very low.
Yeah, that's where that indecisiveness comes into play. And Carrigan, wow, fully commits to Birthday. He's going to get the leg shot onto Config, so a little bit of a head shake there from him for sure. He knows that he could have got that first pick and really started things off strong for his team. Instead, it's just the damage going on to Config. With how Config has been hitting shots, you definitely want to knock that guy out early on here in the round. You do not want him to get rolling. So at least you've slowed him down. Not literally. You know, in real life, shot you probably just, you know, you're not really going to be going anywhere. CSGO can still run, so I mean, you know. He's gonna be quick.
50 caliber to the leg. Yeah, I don't think there's any leg.
This isn't Skyrim.
No, not at all. Rubino down by the B bomb site outside, so very normal normal terrorist setup where you have just one guy waiting outside a B, making sure no one sneaks in, and then you got the rest of the team somewhere else. Now, Rubino's actually going to give up that position and seems to be reconnecting with the rest of the team. And Carrigan, he's been very good at hitting these shots so far. If he gets one more in here, how can Dignitas possibly make it through? The rotation will be happening fairly quick after that.
He's got Dupree to watch his back, so he knows he can just sit here at this angle. Misses the shot, though. That was a golden opportunity here for Carrigan to start things off. He's actually going to go for the re-peek behind it, though. Sees the man coming out from Bank, and this time he hits it. Rubino is down. Big spray coming in from Dupree. Holds it a bit too long, though, and he gets punished by MSL. But this is still a situation that favors Astralis. MSL hardly has any HP to speak of. And we're into a 3-on-4. The retake coming in for Zipnix. And then MSL somehow catches them lined up. Double headshot.
That's going to look ridiculous from his point of view. There's no way that he could have known. Now, all on Device here, and I don't think it's worth doing it. They don't have that much money again on Astralis' side, so try and maybe steal an AWP and just walk away with it. Clutching the 1v3, although would be impressive, I don't think it's actually worth playing for, so does spot out MSL, and he should be able to at least take him out. There's a good spray coming through, but just not enough time, I think, to get the last 2 kills and defuse the bomb. Good headshot there. He's going to hold it in, but Cajun there, long range with the AWP, and that's going to be the round in favor of Dignitas, 12-14. I do want to point this out. I know I complain about this all the time, but it's grinding me, keeps me up at night, Semler. People keep putting down the bomb in the exact same spot on this map, and no one does anything about it. They have HEs, they have Molotovs. It's real easy to Molotov out that bomb plant. You can do it from any one of 100 different sort of positions on the CT side, and they're not doing anything else. They're smoked off, so they're just waiting anyway, and while refusing to stop the guy from putting down the bomb. I'm saying it now again. Someone please start doing that.
Well, you can even wallbang the boxes, can't you? I mean,
yes,
that's another point that you're talking about. You can shoot those boxes exactly where the guy's planting the bomb. So there's quite a few options for the CT side. We haven't seen it work out yet. Device, though, he's going to find Cajun B lurking his way on towards that B site. And Astralis, they prepared for any kind of B push, early aggression coming out here from Dignitas. They had the 3 players ready to hold on the B side itself, and it doesn't look like Dignitas really want to waste too much time. Rubino, you can see him trying to get in position to set up a nade. That bomb is still waiting out front of Monster.
Look, I can just already see the Twitch chat going back as he's aiming through up on Carrigan, who's up there. Obviously, he's waiting for the jump. In case anyone is wondering, he's hoping that someone on the CT side will jump through. But, oh, did we turn the X-ray off and on and Carrigan was gone? That was like a magic trick. I love that. Dupree on the other side, and MSL gonna hard check the corner with a Molotov, which is a very good idea. That's such a nice way to get an early kill if it was gonna happen. Still playing a 4-on-5 right now in about 45 seconds as they push through into the B-bomb side, and Sip is there. He gets both the kills with the 5-7, drops the bomb, and they're in a lot of trouble. Dignitas, they need this round, otherwise it's going to be map point here for Astralis, and Rubino wants to sneak through AWP. He's smoked off for the moment, so can't really see anything. They will pick up the bomb, but now they're sandwiched in, and Dupree is there to pick up the kill as they try and transfer onto the bomb site. Rubino entirely alone now, and he goes down to Carrigan. Solid round from Sipnix.
And I got to give it to Dupree. That setup on the A site, it worked out perfectly for Astralis because he was close enough to restroom to hear MSL backing off. And then it's all about, right, just rotate everybody down to the B site. Sipnix, he's just like, I don't need your help, guys. I'll get both kills on my own. I'll drop the bomb at Mons. It's all good. I've got it under control. But Dupree did actually make the difference there because then Astralis are able to rotate down to the B site, set up the defense early, and Dignitas, they end up running right into the blender. So now this is set up for Astralis to just end things here, pick up their first map, go into that winner match of the group here. You only need to win 2 best-of-1s, basically. To get that first seed, you win 2 maps, you get that first seed. And so Astralis, they'll be within striking distance here of getting out of the groups once again at the majors.
And to try and keep the dream alive, Dignitas really only have pistols and armor. What a horrible way to play the 28th round. Dupree taking down 2 and going for a 3rd. Still 7 bullets left. Cajun coming through the smoke and the pistols out. It's going to be Dupree to pick up a quad